Hi, my name is Susan Lilly. I'm with WVU Extension Service, and today we are going to be making oven-fried Parmesan chicken. And what you're going to need for this recipe is 4 boneless chicken breasts cut into strips. You're going to need 1 cup of plain fat-free yogurt. We're going to need 3/4 of a cup of plain breadcrumbs. We will be using 4 tablespoons of grated Parmesan cheese. We're going to be using 2 tablespoons of plain flour, a teaspoon of paprika, and a pinch of cayenne pepper, and you'll need some vegetable cooking spray. First thing that we're going to do is we're going to preheat the oven to 425 degrees, which I've already done that. And the next thing the very first thing I've done is I washed my hands before I got started, so we got the clean hands going on. I have a chicken breast, a plain boneless chicken breast here, and I'm going to cut it into strips real quick, carefully but quickly. I'm going to cut it into strips. And if you're making this for kids and you want to make it a little bit easier for them to handle, you could even cut this in smaller pieces for young ones. So I've cut my chicken into little strips, and then I'm going to pour in my 1 cup of plain fat-free yogurt. Dump that in there. Alright, so I've done that. And I'm going to use my tongs. I forgot to bring over here. I'm going to use my tongs. I'm going to mix this up really well. Get all the chicken coated with the yogurt. And then I'm going to put this in the refrigerator and let it sit while I am preparing the rest of my ingredients. Okay, I've pulled my chicken. Well, first what I did was clean my space off really well where I had the raw chicken on it with some bleach, clean spray, and I've got all that cleaned up, and I re-washed my hands. What I've done now is I've pulled our chicken with the yogurt that's been sitting in the refrigerator. I've got that ready to go, our chicken tenders. And now what I'm going to do is pour in 3/4 of a cup of plain breadcrumbs. And I'm going to pour in our 4 tablespoons of Parmesan cheese, our 2 tablespoons of plain flour, our teaspoon of paprika, and a pinch of cayenne pepper. I'm just going to put all that in there real good. And I'm going to stir that up. Let me grab a spoon. Make sure we get it all mixed up really well. And the next thing I'm going to do is I am going to coat my chicken with breadcrumb mixture. Move it out of the way. So I'm going to take my strips of chicken. I'm just going to coat them with that breading. And on my baking sheet, I'm going to spray some cooking spray. And I'm going to take my chicken as I lay it out, after I get it coated, and I'm going to lay it on my baking sheet. So I'm coating the chicken. And once I get all of my chicken strips on my baking sheet that's been sprayed with the vegetable spray, I'm going to put them in the oven, and they are going to bake in the oven for 15 to 20 minutes or until they reach a temperature of 165 degrees Fahrenheit inside. So we're going to let those bake for their 15 to 20 minutes, and then we're going to check their temperature. Okay, there's our chicken. Turn the timer off. Whoops, timer. Okay, pull that chicken out. Whoa, be careful, it's hot. I'm going to put it here on my hot pads. Ooh, looks very hot, looks very good, but I'm not sure whether it's done. So to make sure whether it's done, I'm going to use my meat thermometer, and I'm going to stick it in. I'm going to find a thicker piece. I'm going to push it in, not all the way through, but that's so it goes in and stays by itself. You could hold it if you needed to, but I don't want it to go all the way through. It'd be touching the pan. I want it to be in the middle of the chicken to see what temperature it's going to come up to. And it's getting up there. Let's see where we're at. Gotta use my cheaters so I can see where it's at. Oh, it's only up to about 150. So I'm gonna want to put that. I'm gonna want to put that chicken back in to make sure it is at the right temperature. Okay, there's my timer again. We're gonna check this chicken and see if it's come back up to temperature. I just put it in for 5 or 6 more minutes. Turn that timer off. Listen to that. And I'm gonna get my meat thermometer. And again, I'm going to stick it down into one of the thicker pieces. All right, we reached our internal temperature of 165 degrees, which is where we want it to be. And another way that we can do it is fork tender. So I'm just going to take my fork and yes, it is fork tender. It smells very delicious. And now what I'm probably going to serve this with this evening, you could serve it with anything, but I think what would sound pretty good with it tonight is some whole wheat pasta with some spaghetti sauce, or you could even do it with a white sauce, whatever type. You could serve it with some rice and some vegetables. Lots of things that open out there that you could use, eat this chicken with. So I hope you enjoy this oven fried Parmesan chicken. Enjoy.